My phone wouldn't stop vibrating. 71 missed calls. All from her. I stared at the screen while the Swiss sun spilled across the marble floor of my villa. Snow kissed the mountains outside. Silence wrapped around me like silk. 3 days ago, she had shouted over the phone, "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." I remember the pause that followed, the smirk in her voice, the assumption that I would shrink. I replied with one word, "Enjoy." Then I hung up. That was before she saw the photos. Before my stepchildren saw the infinity pool overlooking Lake Geneva. Before they zoomed in on the imported chandeliers, the wine cellar, the glass staircase spiraling like a quiet threat. Before they realized the house they lived in back home, the one I paid for, had just been transferred out of their reach. Another call came in. Declined. The silence here is different, clean, untouched by entitlement. They said they didn't recognize my authority, so I erased it completely. It didn't begin with the dishes. It began months ago. Small comments at first. "You're not our real father. We're adults. We don't need rules." They said it while living in the house I bought, driving the cars I insured, eating food delivered with my card. Rent-free, responsibility-free, respect-free. Their mother, my wife, sat quietly during these declarations, watching, measuring which side held more comfort. That was the betrayal, not their defiance. Hers. I noticed how she stopped defending me, how her tone shifted from partnership to neutrality. Neutrality is dangerous. It means someone is preparing to land elsewhere. One night I overheard her whispering to our eldest, "Just ignore him. The house will be yours eventually." Eventually, like I was a temporary inconvenience in my own life. They stopped following house rules completely after that. Parties without permission, bills left unpaid, guests staying for weeks. When I enforced boundaries, they laughed. "We don't recognize your authority." They said it like a revolution. They forgot something. Revolutions require leverage. They had none. I didn't argue. That confused them. I stopped correcting, stopped reminding, stopped reacting. Instead, I observed. I began separating accounts quietly, moving assets, consulting lawyers in discreet offices with soundproof walls, international property advisors, tax strategists. I asked precise questions. What happens if I liquidate domestic holdings? How fast can ownership transfer? How airtight can this be? I learned who truly owned what, and the answer was simple. I owned everything. The house, my name, the cars, my company, the utilities, auto-paid from accounts only I could access. Even the trust fund they believed was secured for them had conditional clauses. Performance, respect, residency requirements. They had never read the documents. Entitlement makes people lazy. Meanwhile, at home, I smiled. I attended dinners where they ignored me. I listened to my daughter-in-law mock my old-fashioned authority. She rolled her eyes when I reminded them of Thanksgiving plans. "If you want to join Thanksgiving, come wash the dishes." That was the final confirmation, not anger. Confirmation. They didn't see me as a man, only a wallet with rules. So I removed the wallet. First, I purchased the villa in Switzerland. Not for luxury, for symbolism. Distance. I arranged long-term residency quietly, opened private accounts abroad, liquidated investments. Then, one morning, while they were asleep in the house they claimed as theirs, I signed the final transfer. The property was sold to a holding firm. Vacate notice, 30 days. I left that same afternoon. No confrontation. No announcement. Just absence. They found out through email. Not from me. From a legal notice. My wife called first. "What is this? Is this some kind of mistake?" Silence from my side. Then I sent a single attachment. The asset breakdown. Highlighted sections showing sole ownership. Her name nowhere. Their names nowhere. Just mine. "You can't do this," she whispered. "I already did." That's when her voice cracked. The children called next. Anger first, then panic. "We live here." "For now," I replied. When they demanded explanation, I offered clarity. "You said you don't recognize my authority. I've removed it." They didn't understand at first. Then the realization settled. Authority and ownership had always been the same thing. They had challenged the wrong foundation. The true confrontation came after she saw the photos. I posted nothing boastful. Just architecture, glass, snow, still water reflecting mountains. Location tagged Switzerland. She called 71 times. When I finally answered, her voice was different, soft. Why didn't you tell us you were leaving? I leaned back in a leather chair overlooking the lake. You didn't recognize my authority. Silence. Then bargaining. We can fix this. The kids didn't mean it. Come home for Thanksgiving. I almost smiled. Home. You told me to wash dishes if I wanted to join. That was a joke. No, it was a measurement. She began crying. I felt nothing. You built your independence, I said. Live in it. When she realized the house would be locked in 10 days, her composure shattered. You're punishing us. No, I corrected calmly. I'm respecting your request. They wanted life without my rules. I gave them life without my resources. Exact symmetry. That is not cruelty. That is precision. The snow falls differently here. It doesn't cling. It settles briefly, then melts under quiet sunlight. I walk through rooms no one disrespects. I eat alone. Peace tastes better than validation. They send messages still. Apologies, blame, nostalgia. I don't block them. I simply don't respond. I wasn't betrayed by rebellion. I was betrayed by assumption. They assumed I would always absorb disrespect because I loved them. They mistook provision for weakness. They confused silence with dependency. Now they are discovering what independence truly costs. Rent. Bills. Consequences. Authority isn't something you demand to remove. It's something you earn the protection of. They had protection. They called it oppression. Now they have freedom. They call it unfair. My phone lights up again. I turn it face down. Outside, the mountains stand unmoved. So do I. They said they didn't recognize my authority. Now they recognize my absence.